In the last couple of episodes, we started the story of how the arrogant king Vishwamitra took an oath to become a Brahmarshi and started penance. There are many associated stories about the incidents he faced and activities he did while doing the penance on one side. In this episode, let us know about one such story about the cursed king Trishanku who aspired to reach the heavens with his physical body and how Vishwamitra got involved in his quest. Namaste, my name is Gayatri. Hope you are enjoying this series of the great epic Ramayana. Please like, leave a comment and share with your friends if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon below. In these videos, I am following Valmiki Ramayana, adding some additional information from my research. King Trishanku belongs to Ikshvaku dynasty and was a predecessor to Lord Rama. He was born to King Prithu and was given the name of Satyavrata. He was a very righteous king. As he grew older, he handed over his kingdom Ayodhya to his son Harishchandra and started his journey to attain his goal. He always wanted to go to heaven with his mortal body. Being a righteous person, his soul did deserve the access to heaven, but not his mortal body. But he wanted to enjoy the heavenly pleasures with his mortal body only to get the most of them. Towards this, he wanted to do an yajna and requested his guru Vasishta to help him conduct the yajna and help him go to heavens with his mortal body. Vasishta immediately refused, saying that going to heaven in physical body is against the laws of nature. But Satyavrata was adamant. He approached the sons of Vasishta to help him do the yajna and attain his goal. Having known that Vasishta refused previously, they too refused him and advised him against the yajna. But he insisted, and when he failed luring them with his promises of wealth and fame, he replied arrogantly that he will find another person to do his yajna if they are not interested. Hearing this, they got furious and cursed him to become an outcast and lead a very heinous life. Immediately, the king's body, which was previously golden in color, turned jet black. His clothes and body became very dirty, covered with ash, and his hair became scarce. His golden jewelry turned into iron ornaments, and the garland of beautiful fragrant flowers he was wearing until then became the garland of flowers from a crematory. Seeing this, everyone fled away from him, and he was forced to leave his country and roam the wilderness. Because of his horrible form, Satyavrata was called Trishanku from then onwards. Even with all this, his strong desire did not leave him. Actually, he became all the more determined. He went to meet Vishwamitra, who was immersed in his penance. Vishwamitra, hearing that Vasishta and his sons rejected his desire and feeling sorry about Trishanku's condition, promised to help him. Maybe more, because he associated Trishanku's wish to his own wish to achieve a greater situation in life than was accorded to them naturally by their birth and actions. Anyway, Vishwamitra started preparations to perform the rites to raise Trishanku to heaven with his physical body. He called his sons and asked them to send invitations to all the rishis and brahmins in the country to attend the yajna and help him. Everyone accepted except for Vasishta, his sons, and another sage called Mahadaya, who rejected, saying that they will not accept to attend the yajna being conducted by a kshatriya and which is done for an outcast. Hearing this, Vishwamitra grew angry and cursed the sons of Vasishta to immediately burn to death and later take birth as outcasts for 700 lives. He also cursed the sage Mahadaya to become a Nishada, meaning who lives in hills and mountains. After this, he started the yajna acting as high priest. He requested the Brahmins present there to chant the mantras, who obliged to avoid getting cursed by Vishwamitra. After the yajna is completed, Vishwamitra invited all the gods to come and accept the offerings. But no god came, knowing well that if they accept the offerings, they have to give boon to Trishanku to reach heaven with his mortal body. Furious Vishwamitra vowed that he would send Trishanku to heaven with his own ascetic powers. Because of this, Trishanku started ascending towards heaven with his mortal body. Gods were alarmed. The person who do not have enough virtues and who opposed and showed contempt on his own guru cannot reach heavens, more so with his mortal body. Indra, the king of gods in heaven, seeing that Trishanku was reaching heaven, pushed him away to fall on earth again. While falling, Trishanku shouted for help from Vishwamitra. Hearing him, Vishwamitra stopped Trishanku's fall immediately, resulting in Trishanku being suspended mid-air upside down. Vishwamitra wanted to help Trishanku come what may, and to fulfill his promise, started building a parallel heaven in the south sky, all set with new gods and planetary systems to support this heaven around Trishanku. After it is built, Vishwamitra restored Trishanku to his original form of Satyavrata and made him the Indra of this new heaven. Seeing this unnatural course of events, gods were alarmed and disturbed. They went to Vishwamitra and asked him to stop this, as Trishanku do not have enough eligibility to reach heaven with mortal body, and also building a new heaven is against natural laws. But Vishwamitra was adamant. He did not want to break his own word given to Trishanku. He insisted that God should accept the new heaven he built around Trishanku and let it remain forever if they cannot accept Trishanku into the original heaven. Finally, gods and Vishwamitra came to an understanding that gods will accept the new heaven and allow it to remain forever with Trishanku being its king. But against that, Trishanku should never go against the orders of the original Indra, and to constantly remind him about this, he will remain upside down in his new heaven. Thus sorted out, Trishanku remained upside down in his own heaven, which was henceforth called as Trishanku Swarg, and enjoyed all the heavenly comforts and pleasures with his mortal body. After fulfilling his word given to Trishanku, Vishwamitra went back to his penance to recapture and build up on his substantially spent ascetic powers and attain his own goal of becoming a Brahmarshi. In the next chapter, we will know another story of Kalmashapada and how Vishwamitra killed Vasishta's sons with his help and what happened with Vasishta. Please like and subscribe this channel to get updates about all our new episodes. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu.